You're on.
Okay, so we're Masechta Shabbos, Daf Chaf Aleph. We're in the middle of the Sugi of Hanukkah. So on the bottom of Chaf Aleph, no, we're actually doing Chaf Beis today, 22. So on the bottom of Chaf Aleph on the Beis, Rav Kana Dorsh, Rav Nosson Bar Manyumi Mishmeid Rav Tanchum. Ner Shel Hanukkah, Binichla Malam Esrim, Amma Psula. If you place a Hanukkah above 20 amas, it's possible. Because your eye, Rashi says, the loshalta be'ena l'malam esrim amma. The leka persume nisa. The whole point in their Hanukkah is for persume nisa, to spread the news about the nays. And if it's above 20 amas, you can't see it. So it's not kosher. And he says, kesuka ukemavli. The same din applies to sukkah, where you can't have the schach higher than 20 amas. And because the whole point of sukkah is to see the schach. And the same thing with a mavli. If you remember, a mavli is an alleyway that enters into a Rishus Harabim. So in order to carry in the mavli, you need to have a lechi and a korah. You need to have a beam across the front of the entrance of the mavli. If that beam is 20 amas or higher, then the mavli would not be misakim with a neighbor. And immediately, the Gemara takes a tangent. Rav Kana Dorsh Rav Nosson Bar Manyumi Mishmeid Rav Tanchum, which is the same Amoira that we just quoted. Ma'idechsiv. Why does it say when they threw Yosef in the pit, the habor reik ein bo mayim? Right, the pit was empty. There's no water. Now, it's superfluous. Once you told me that the pit was empty, what do you have to tell me there's no water? You already told me there's empty. But scorpions and snakes, there were there. So the question is, what does this piece, I understand it follows the same principle that we've discussed, that once we quote a halacha within the sugya, that means we quoted Rav Nosson Bar Manyumi Mishmeid Rav Tanchum regarding the mitzvah of Hanukkah can't be more than 20 amas. Now, as we've said before, because this is an unusual amoyma, Rav Nosson Bar Manyumi, the name of Tanchum, that doesn't appear many places in Shas, we bring all their statements in one place in order to remember them. But the question is, what does this have anything to do with Ner Hanukkah? And I once heard someone explain that when it says that Ruvain, it says Ruvain matzilenu miyada. Ruvain wanted to save Yosef. So what do you mean he wanted to save Yosef? Why did he go along with throwing him in the pit if he wanted to save Yosef, if there was no chashim and akravim there? So because the pit was greater than 20 amas deep, and that way he couldn't see, because we already said if something is 20 amas, you can't see it. So it must have been, we learned from here that the pit was more than 20 amas. That way Reuven couldn't see the Nechashim and Akravim. Therefore, in his mind, he thought they were saving Yosef. So there's a connection between this concept of this sugya that was brought regarding the bor rate. Amaram. The mitzvah is to place the one tefach next to your door. Where should you put it? On the right side. And Rav Shmuel Midifti Omer Mismol. The Hilchos Mismol, Kadesh Ner Chanukah Mismol Mezuzah Miyamin. And the halach is we put it on the right side of our door, so that on the left side of the door, so that the mezuzah will be on the right when you come in, and the menorah will be on the left when you come in. You can't count money by the light of the Ner Chanukah, because you concentrate when you count money. And again, we learned that you cannot be mishtamish with the Oro Shel Ner Chanukah, so don't do that. Don't read a novel, by the light of the Ner Chanukah. When this halach was said in front of Shmuel, Amar Li, The chiner kedusha yeshba. Does the Neros have kedusha where you can't use it? And maskif Rav Yosef v'chidam kedusha yeshbo. When you shecht an animal, we say, does dam have kedusha? What do you mean? The Tanya, it says v'shafach v'chisa. After you shecht, you have to cover the blood with dirt. B'mesh shafach yichase. You have to cover the blood with your hand. You have to use your hand to take the dirt and cover the blood. Shelo yichasenu baregel. Don't use your foot. Shelo yu mitzvos bezuyos alav. So we learn from this din that mitzvos have to be treated with honor. You can't do something that makes it look like it's a bizoyo. Chanami here as well regarding the treating the menorah with kedusha, it follows this principle that we learn by Dam. Mitzvahs bezuyos alav, by reading by the light of the candle, you're treating it bebizoyo. You hang up decorations for the sukkah. Can you use those decorations? They answered, you're not allowed to. Just like you can't have hanoah from the Ner Chanukah, you can't have hanoah from the Noi Sukkah. Rav Yosef, Moed Avram. Oh my Lord, right? Moed Avram, the master of Avram, Tali Tanya ben Lo Tanya. Understand the baraisa of the sukkah of the din of sukkah is baraisa, but there is no baraisa regarding the Ner Chanukah. How can you? One is not comparable, right? Sukkah Tanya, Chanukah Lo Tanya. The Tanya Sukkah Kil Chasa. If you put Sicha Kil Chasa, you put the right tzchak on the sukkah. The itra, you decorated it with kramim, with sadinim, amsuyorim. You put up colored sheets. The talaba, it goes in your hung walnuts, afarsakim, fruits, shkedim, almonds, ribonim, pomegranates, rachila, novim, grapes, batar shel shibolim, and stalks of wheat, yeno shel shmanim, the saltos, bottles of wine, and shemen. By the way, in the sukkah in bells, you see bottles of wine hanging from the sukkah. Also, you may not use them all of Hanukkah. In fact, the Belzer Rebbe at the end of Hanukkah takes down all the wines and gives it to the Hasidim who came to visit him, so that they go back home with a bottle of wine that was hanging in from the sukkah. So you can give it at the end of Sukkot, but the Hisna Lema Kol Fitno. Now, if you made it tonight and you could use it, you could use it. So, how can you compare the Ner Chanukah to the Sukkah? There's a Beferish Tika Baraisa. Rav Yosef Avun the Kulu Dam. But even Sukkah is based on the Pasuk of Dam. That means we learned that you cannot cover the blood after you shech with your foot. You got to do it with your hand. Otherwise, it's bizoyo. So that's the father of the whole concept that mitzvahs cannot be treated with bizoyo. So we learn into the Ner Chanukah.
Hakol. I mean, if he can make a condition on something, when he puts the sukkah, the decorations up, he can say, I want to use them during sukkahs?
Yeah.
Is that what he does?
Yeah, right. The Shulchan Aruch says, Im kein hisna she'enu makpid limona mishimushim ben hashmoshes. If ben hashmoshes, Erev sukkahs, you say, I'm not makpid if somebody uses them, that works. The Ramah says you have to do that every day, bein hashmoshes, for the next day. So there's machlokes whether you do the tonight once before the whole yontif or whether you do it every day.
Doesn't it become, when he puts it up, doesn't it become muksa? It becomes part of the sukkah itself, and that he has no right to use it, even if it makes it tanai?
No, it's based on this din of bizoyon of mitzvahs, of noi sukkah, aser, what do we say? Aser listapik. It's this inyan. And therefore, if you make it tonight, right, the Gemara says, then the tano works.
Okay.
The lo chalalai kedusha klal if you make the tonight. We're noig not to do that. I never made. I didn't know the psak halacha that you can do it, but I don't know if people make this tonight. In general, if you don't make the tonight, the decorations of sukkah are muktzah. Itmar. Not muktzah. They're you can't benefit from them. Can't use them. Itmar. Rav Amar ein madlikin mi ner l'ner. You can't light from one candle to the other. That is either directly, we'll see in a minute, either directly or indirectly. Like using a stick and go from one to one. Or take one candle lighting to the other. Shmuel Amar madlikin. Shmuel says you can't. Rav Amar ein matir and tzitzis be beged lebeged. That if you have tzitzis on one beged, you can't untie it from that beged and put it to another beged. Shmuel Amar matirin be beged lebeged. Shmuel allows. Rav Amar ein halach Rab Shimon b'greira. There's a machlokes Rab Shimon and Rab Yehuda regarding dover she'eino miskaven on Shabbos. Let's say I drag a table from one corner to another in a room, and as I drag it, I make a ditch in the ground because I don't have flooring. The flooring is dirt, and I drag it. I make a ditch. Now there's a malach of binyan, but that's not my kavanah. My kavanah is to move the table from one to the other. As long as it's not a psik resha, as long as it's not absolute 100% going to occur that I make a ditch. There's a possibility that it might not make a ditch. Then Rab Shimon holds it's mutter. Rab Yehuda says even if it's not automatic that it makes a ditch, davar she'eino miskaven is also. So the fact that you made a ditch without kavana, it's prohibited. So we paskin like Rab Shimon, like Shmuel does here, that davar she'eino miskaven is mutter. That if I'm allowed to drag a table from here to there, even though it makes a ditch, as long as it's not a psik resha. Amar Abaya, kol mili demar ovid kirav. We paskin halacha throughout Shas like Rav. Levar ma'ani klas to ovid kishmuel. Except for these three halachas l'shmuel. That madlikin min l'ner, matir mi beged lebeged. V'alach Rab Shimon b'greimer. The Tanya Rab Shimon oimer. Goyrer adam mita kise b'safsal. Ulevat v'liskavin lasos chritz. Yosef u'mrabbanan kamed Ravada barava v'Yosef v'ko'amar. The Chachamim were sitting in front of Ravada barava and learning. Time of the Rav, why don't we light from candle to candle mishum bizui mitzvah? It's a bizarre to the mitzvah that you're using the nair. You have to light the other candle because we want to use the candle only for light. You're using it for something else to light the other candle. Don't listen to that. Time of the Rav mishum the komakish mitzvah that you are minimizing a little bit from the shemen and the wick that was used for this nair to use for the other nair. Now, my binayu, what's the difference between these two reasons? Whether it's bizui or whether it's hakasha. It can be neither commandlik mishraga l'shraga. For example, if you go directly with the wick, rather you don't take a piece of stick and light from candle to candle. According to the opinion, it's still a bizoya, but it's not a hakasha because you have not minimized the wick or the shemen by going directly from the nair to the nair. But according to the one that you're being makish, you can't do it. It's usher because you're making the nair because you're using it, and it's being makish the mitzvah even if you use it the kiss it. So the farmer has to give meiser rishon 1/10, the first, second, fourth, and fifth year of the Shemitah cycle, and he has to give a second meiser, which that belongs to him. But if he lives in Tel Aviv, he has to transfer the kedusha to money and schlep the money to Yerushalayim and buy food there. So let's say you have a coin of silver. Meiser Sheni ain't sharklin connected din rezov. You can't use it as a counterweight to measure how much gold you have. Even if you're going to use the gold, if you love Meiser Sheni acher, even if you're going to use the gold to be mechala Meiser Sheni. Again, because it's a bizayon to the coin of Meiser Sheni, which is a mitzvah. So if you're going to tell me Rabbi Shmuel argues only in the case where you go directly to directly, aval b'kinsa aser Shmuel, but if you use a stick, also Shmuel prohibited, then lo tevet yufta. Eliyam b'kinsa nami sure, but if Tami Shmuel permits in any case, both linear and through an intermediary, so then hatiyaf tiyufta, this price is going to be a kasha because you're using it directly. Over there, it's a gzeira that maybe you won't end up using the money, the gold, because you didn't come up with an exact weight, and then you ended up using the Meiser Sheni for no purpose at all. So over there, it's a gzeira. You can't bring a kasha to the case of Ner Chag. Most of Rav Sheshes says Michutza Parochas Edus Yarov. Says the menorah should be put out in the heichal, outside of the curtain that separates the Kodesh Kadosh. Because the pasuk says Michutza Parochas Edus Ba'ol Moed Yaroch also Aaron Me'ervad Bok Lefnei Hashem Tamid Chukas Olam V'Roseh. I understand, says the Gemara Mechila, Orahu Tzorich. I understand Hashem needs light that has to burn at night because it said Me'erev ad Boker. The Jews wandered in the desert for 40 years. Hashem gave us an Amud Ha'esh to give us light. Hashem doesn't need our light. So, when you looked at the menorah, it was testimony that there was a Shekhinah in the world, and it's Shor Yisrael. My Edus, what was the Edus? Amarav, Zu Ner Maravi. It was the most western candle. Shenoisen Bo Shemen Kemidas Chabreseha. The same amount of oil was put there, but Umimena Yamad Leguvoya Messiah. That means that was like the Ner Tommy. It never burnt out. So when the Kohen came in to prepare the menorah, when he came in, all of the candles had extinguished except for that one. And he lit that one, that always remained. That means, so even though there was the same amount of oil, that one lasted more. So there was like a Nes Chanukah almost every day in the Beis HaMikdash because it burned miraculously. So the Neros are fixed in the menorah. So you could not sort of pick up one of those candles, the Gemara thinks, and light from there to there. So it looks like it's a kasha on those that said that you can light from there to there. No, the menorah had long wicks, and you could just move the wick from there to there. So if if you're going to light directly from a candle to candle, that goes against the one that says you can't do it because of kushe mitzvah. Kasha. So in a chanami, we're left with a problem from the menorah. So my avi Allah, what's the halacha? On Ravuna break Rav Yeshua, chazina. Iyad lak also mitzvah. Is the lighting of the menorah candle the mitzvah? If so, madlikin miner l'ner. However, if the lighting is just a hechsher, and then placing the menorah down, then then ein madlik l'ner l'ner. Then you would not be able to light from candle to candle. So by the being mechin in an improper way, lighting from a candle to a candle, according to that Mandomar, it would be a bizoyon to the mitzvah. Where do we see that this concept comes up? Diboilu. Hadlaka oisa mitzvah or hanacha oisa mitzvah. The moment you light the candle, that's it, mitzvah's done. Or, no, you have to light it and place it. Tosh Madom Rav Ayatofus ner Chanukah v'oimed. Let's say a person's just standing there and he lights a candle and doesn't put it down, loss of lo klum. Shmami no hanacha oisa mitzvah. Seems to imply placing it down is the mitzvah. Or it says, no, there, the reason it's not good, because a person who sees a guy holding a candle thinks, oh, that's not a ner mitzvah. He needs the candle because he's going looking for something. He's using a candle. So I'll bring you another proof. Toshmat, Omarava, Yidlika bifnim. Let's say you light it in the house, Votzia, and then you took it outside, lost a klum. So hadlaka also mitzvah, hadlaka bimkom be'in, and you need to light it where you're supposed to light it, which is outside. He's lighting it inside and taking it outside and putting it down. According to the person who says hadlaka also mitzvah, it should work. The person seeing him carrying it outside thinks that he's using it for his own personal reasons, not for a mitzvah. That's why it's prohibited there, but not to shed any light on this concept of whether hanacha is a mitzvah or hadlaka is a mitzvah. Okay, very good. Have a very good Shabbos. We will learn tomorrow night, 8:15.